Prospects that must be called up come September. That's what I'm going to do in today's video. But before I get into this video, 92% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead and get your life together and hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like on this video. Like I said, 10 prospects that must be called up in September. That's what I'm going to do in today's video. Now, September call-ups used to be 40-man rosters. Now it's only 28-man, so we're going to do 10 prospects that must be called up come September. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. The first prospect that I'm going to go with is Shane Baz of the Tampa Bay Ray. Shane Baz is one of the players that nobody talks about that was included in the Tyler Glasnow, Austin Meadows for Chris Archer trade. He's kind of that hidden piece. He was the 12th pick for in the first round for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2017. And this is a guy that has a phenomenal year in the minor leagues. He's 4-4 this year with a 2.13 ERA between AA and AAA this year. And he's only improved since going to AAA. Now this is in 67 innings as well. He's got a 0.80 whip as well. So since being promoted to AAA Durham for them, 2-0 with a 1.80 ERA. He was gone from Montgomery and AA for them pretty quick this year. And Shane Baz is a guy that could make a pretty big impact for a Tampa Bay Rays team that is still competing for first place. This is a guy that seems to be Major League ready. And obviously they're in first place right now, 5.5 game lead, comfortable lead. But they have to play the Yankees, or excuse me, not the Yankees. They have to play Boston in their next series. And they're 82-48 right now. They're rolling 7-game winning streak. But Shane Baz, I think, definitely could help them out. And down the stretch could be a good 5th or 6th starter that could make a big impact for this team. At number 2, it's another guy similar, Hunter Greene of the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are in a similar position to the Rays, just they're not winning their division right now. But they're a team that's going to be competing for a playoff spot. So between two teams this year, he started off AA, 7 starts, 5-0 with a 1.98 ERA. Absolutely tore up AA. He's been a little worse since going to AAA, but still a very solid at 4-6 with a 3.78 ERA in 11 starts. He's had a very solid year this year, and I think Hunter Greene's going to come up just before Nick Lowe because I think that he's just a little more MLB ready. He's had more experience this year. Lowe spent some time on the injured list as well. He was the 2nd overall pick back in 2017, and Hunter Greene, even after having Tommy John surgery, has basically stick to the same velocity and has had a really good year this year. I definitely think that he'll be getting a September call-up. Number 3 is Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals. This is a guy who has really tore it up this year in between 2 levels, in AA and AAA. He started the year in AA, 16 home runs, 51 RBIs, 295 batting average, 369 on base percentage, 570 slugging percentage, 939 OPS. He had a great year in AA, has got promoted to AAA, and has tore it up there too. 12 home runs, 31 RBIs, and a 289 batting average. 343 on base percentage, 612 slugging, 955 OPS. I think that this is a guy that really needs to be called up. Alberto Monteci, he can move to the outfield somewhere because Bobby Witt needs to be called up. He's ready to be called up, and Bobby Witt is the number 3 prospect in baseball according to MLB pipeline. And like I said, he's currently in AAA. This is a guy that needs to be called up. They need to trade Whit Merrifield as well, which could just open the second base position technically for Alberto Monteci. Next up at number 4 is Luis Camposano of the San Diego Padres. Camposano has spent a little time in the major leagues this year, but he's spent the majority of his year in AAA. He was a 2nd-round pick by the Padres back in 2017, and in the minor leagues this year in AAA, 13 home runs, 43 RBIs, and a 290 batting average. The Padres are a team that's struggling right now, and they could use just a little, they could generate some power. Obviously, Austin Nolan is a very good catcher, but I think they should at least give Luis Camposano a shot to possibly be in a platoon role with Austin Nola. Just find a way for him to get there. Now, obviously, he struggled in 34 at-bats with the Major League club in 2021 with an 0.88 batting average. But still, this is a guy who I think has kind of turned it around, and I think is a guy that they should definitely at least consider calling up. At number 5 is Josh Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's another guy that I think they just need to call up. He was their first round pick back in 2016. He's had a great year in the minors, 20 home runs, 68 RBIs, and a 267 batting average with 21 stolen bases, 352 on base percentage, and an 878 OPS. He's had a really good year this year, and he spent all of it in AAA. This is a guy that definitely needs to be called up. Kevin Kiermaier is no longer the center fielder. Yes, I know that he's very good defensively, but still, this is a guy with Josh Lowe that I think you could definitely think about calling up, and he's the brother of Nate Lowe, I'm pretty sure, too. But he's had a great year in the minor leagues, and I think they definitely need to consider calling him up. The Rays do. And next up at number 6 is Nolan Jones of the Cleveland Guardians. This is the guy who's been stuck in AAA for a while now. And yes, he isn't having the best of years this year with a 238 batting average, 13 home runs, and 48 RBIs, and 356 on base percentage, and a 431 slugging percentage. And I know they would like him to do a little better, but this Cleveland team is going nowhere this year. They are going absolutely nowhere. Yes, they're just holding on to second place there. They're 6-4 in their last 10, yes. But they're average. They're 64-64. This is a team that's not very good offensively. And why not call up somebody not like Nolan Jones? And he's had some really good years in the past. I think calling up Nolan Jones could be a real good booster to their lineup, which is a team that needs a booster in the lineup. He can play the outfield as well. He's not just a third baseman, which helps a lot with Jay Ram already being at that position. Next up, well, the next two teams basically are going to be teams that are not going anywhere this year. They need to call these guys up. At number 7 is Nick Prado of the Kansas City Royals. Nick Prado is another guy in the Royals organization who has had a great year. The Royals have actually all three of the leaders for guys that lead in home runs in the minor leagues right now with Nick Prado, Bobby Witt, and MJ Melendez, who's a catcher, has had a really good year. But for Nick Prado this year, he's had a great year. 28 home runs, 77 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, 271 batting average, 387 on base percentage, and a 990 OPS. He got promoted at the same time as Bobby Witt. And he tore up AA, 15 home runs, 43 RBIs, and a 271 batting average there. Hasn't changed much at all since going to AAA, still being that great player that he was in AA, with 13 home runs, 34 RBIs, and a 270 batting average with a 357 on base percentage and a 657 slugging percentage. So he's had a really good year between those two teams. Nick Prado is a guy that they definitely need to consider calling up. Yes, Carlos Santana's there at first base, but come on, call Nick Prado up. Next up at number 8 for the Rangers, it's going to be Josh Young. Josh Young is the guy that needs to be called up. He currently just got promoted to AAA, so maybe they're just trying to let him get his footing in AAA. But he tore up AA. Now, he has been injured for quite a bit of the season. So that's why his stats don't look as crazy as some of these others, is because he's been injured for 2 months at the start of the season. But he tore up AA. 10 home runs, 40 RBIs, 13 walks, 42 strikeouts in 43 games. He had a really good... a lot of people would be happy with this as their season, but he had a 308 batting average, 10 home runs, 40 RBIs, 366 on base percentage, 544 slugging percentage, 910 OPS. We never saw the power with Josh Young before. In 2019, we didn't see it much between just low A ball and rookie ball. We didn't see a lot of the power, but he's shown the power in 2021, and like I said, he just got promoted to AAA. There he's got 1 home run, 1 RBI, and a 240 batting average. But this is a guy that they definitely need to think about calling up. They've had problems at the third base position for a long time, and Josh Young is a guy that they need to call up. Next up at number 9 is actually a contending team call up. Nate Pearson of the Toronto Blue Jays. He's currently in AAA right now. Yes, he hasn't had a great year. 1-3 this year in the minors with a 4.55 ERA. Has 11 games. 6 of those are started in just 29 innings. Now, Nate Pearson was a guy that played with them last year, on their team. He was on the major league roster last year, but this year, no. So, Nate Pearson's a guy that I think they could definitely call up, whether that's in a role of just coming out of the bullpen in long relief or whatever. I think that Nate Pearson could definitely do them a service in the major leagues. Now, he had a really good year in 2019, 5-4 with a 2.30 ERA. This year struggled a little bit more, but 1-3 with a 4.55 ERA. He has been injured for a lot this year too, from June 22nd to August 14th, he was injured. So he was injured for almost 2 months of the year. Actually, 2 months of the year. So, yeah. And at number 10, the final one is another San Diego Padre, Mackenzie Gore. Mackenzie Gore is a guy that has just been on the verge of being called up for a while. And this is a guy that needs to be called up, especially with how the pitching is struggling for the San Diego Padres. Mackenzie Gore is somebody who definitely needs to be called up. Had a really good start in the AZL with the AZL Padres. He's coming back from an injury. So, yeah. But in the minors this year, in only 8 starts, 1-2 with a 4.15 ERA. But yeah, I think they definitely need to call up Mackenzie Gore. Mackenzie Gore's a guy who could be very good down the stretch for this team. And they need somebody to be good down the stretch for the Padres because this team's pitching is garbage. He was the 3rd overall pick back in 2017. This is a guy that, I mean, he's been right up there close to the majors for what feels like quite a while now. And yeah, so Mackenzie Gore is the 10th player. So I'm going to go over the list once again. So at number 1, I've got Shane Bass, 2, Hunter Green, 3, Bobby Witt, 4, Luis Camposano, 5, Josh Lowe, 6, Nolan Jones, 7, Nick Prado, 8, Josh Young, 9, Nate Pearson, and 10, Mackenzie Gore. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications because like I said, 92% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead and get your life together and hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.